All right, so now today we are talking about recursive formula. So the recursive formula really is defined by two different parts. The first part is you need to define where you're starting in the pattern. So you could be starting on the first term, the third term, you just need to define how to start. So generally, you're going to define the starting point by either using subscript notation with saying a sub 1 equals whatever the number is, or you would use function notation, which would be f of 1, meaning the first term. If you were using the second term, you'd use 2, equals a number. You always have to define where you start. Then you are going to define the pattern. So this would be a sub n, meaning now, equals, and then we're going to say a sub n minus 1. So before, literally the number before. And then whatever your pattern is. So it could be plus, it could be minus, it could be times, it could be a fraction, it could be, you could have some more more exciting pattern happening. But you're going to have that and then whatever you are doing there. So same thing for function notation. You'd have f of n, which again means now, equals, and then f of n minus 1, literally just meaning the number before. Okay, and then you put your pattern. Add, subtract, multiply. If you're dividing, just make it a fraction. And then whatever your number is. So pattern. We talked about this yesterday. And there you go. So let's give this a practice. So we've got two problems here. So we're going to describe the pattern. So first, we're going from 14 down to 4, down to -6, down to -16. Now this does not seem to be a multiplication problem or a division problem, so let's see what's happening. To go from 14 to 4, we have to minus 10. Then to go 4 to -6, that is also minus 10, so let's check this last one. This is also minus 10. So my pattern is going to be subtract 10. Okay, so part 1, we need to define it. So I'm going to use subscript notation for this one. So a sub 1 is going to equal that first number in the pattern, so 14. And then part 2 is we're going to say now, or a sub n, equals before, so a sub n minus 1. And then we're going to put our pattern, so minus 10. Okay, so there's my recursive formula. So let's come over here. This one goes -2, -12, -72, -432. So let's see if this is subtraction again. So that would be minus 10, and then this would be minus 60. Those are not the same thing, so it's not going to be a subtraction pattern, so let's see what else could it be. I think -2 times 6 would be -12. -12 times 6 is -72. And if we check this last one, it's also times 6. So my pattern is multiply by 6. So we're going to use function notation on this one just so you can see the difference. So function notation, first thing we have to do, define the first number. So our first number in this pattern is -2. Now we have to define the pattern. So we're going to do now, which is just f of n, equals before, so f of n minus 1. And then our pattern on this one is times 6. All right, so there is two beautiful examples of how to write the recursive formula for a given pattern. Now I want you guys to do that for the next 4 problems, and then we will meet back together when we're going to be given the recursive and we're going to write the pattern. All right.